Hey guys, Elliot here from Lunark Studios, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the latest Prismata features that we are working on and have recently launched. To get things started, I want to talk a bit about the badges and achievements which went live last week. Prismata now has over 80 unique achievements that you can unlock in the game. Some of them for doing really interesting things like sniping a Gauss cannon with an Apollo, others for more difficult challenges like beating the Master Bot under certain restrictions like not buying Animus Blastforge or Conduit. Every achievement you unlock earns you an equipable badge, so you can equip the badges to show off some of the achievements that you've got. And if you're running the Steam version of Prismata, you also get Steam achievements for every achievement you've unlocked. Speaking of Steam version, we've had a number of people ask how they can get in on the Steam version. So right now, it's just in a sort of test mode. We haven't launched formally Prismata on Steam yet. We're not in early access yet. We haven't even launched our store page yet. It's just there in what's called Steam beta mode, which means it's like a test mode. People can't publicly see that the game exists, but you can test it. And so in order to test it, you need a Steam beta key, and we've given those out to our Kickstarter supporters as well as other backers who have backed Prismata on Prismata.net. So if you want to know how to get the keys, if you're a Kickstarter supporter, you can go to Humble's site, which is where all the other rewards are stored, and you go to this key resender at humblebundle.com/resender. You type your email in there and click resend my orders, and that will, you'll get an email that contains basically everything you've ever bought on Humble Bundle, but included among that is all the Prismata rewards, and included in the Prismata rewards will be one Steam key. If you're not a Kickstarter backer but you supported Prismata, you should have got an email from us that contains a Steam key. And if you're neither of those two things, if you haven't supported Prismata yet, you just have to sit tight until we are formally released on Steam, and you'll be able to play Prismata on Steam. Nevertheless, you can still start unlocking the achievements now. You don't require Steam to do that. Let me also talk about the events. So we've updated our event schedule. We now have a couple of different events that run every week. On Tuesdays, we have this thing called Potpourri, which is essentially a random selection of past weekly events. So if you played in these weekly events, and maybe you missed one, or maybe you know, there's some that you really liked that you want to play again, they will start showing up in the Potpourri. So if you play on Tuesdays, you get matched against another player, and you never know what you're going to end up with. We now have an event called Blitzbrawl that's running on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Blitzbrawl is a 1 hour long blitz competition where your goal is to accumulate as many wins as possible playing 6-second Prismata. And the games go really fast. Like, you can play a game, it lasts 2 minutes, you click play, you instantly get matched again. The timer at the start of the game, it ticks down 3, 2, 1 instead of ticking down from 10, so the pace is much faster. And additionally, we've added an event leaderboard, which you can't see anything right now because there's no event running, but it will display who's playing in the event and how many wins they have and so on. The Blitzbrawl event has prizes, so the winner gets 1,000 shards and a badge, and anybody else who participated is eligible for a prize raffle that occurs at the end of the event. So just by playing in the event, you can be eligible for other prizes that include shards, infusions, Omni Power Cores, all kinds of good stuff. So you're definitely going to want to be checking out these Blitz Brawls. And the next one is Saturday at 2 p.m. What else? I mean, I've talked before about the customizable emotes, but if you haven't seen these yet, you should definitely check them out. You can collect these items called infusions and use them to upgrade your emotes. You can change things like the background, the color of said background. There are different frames that you can get, and also animations for the text or images themselves within the emote. You can also change the color of the text itself. So if you haven't messed around with this yet, I encourage you to give it a try. It's a lot of fun, and people have been finding all kinds of really weird and strange and hilarious combinations of animations or colors and emotes themselves, and it's been a lot of fun to engage with people on the ladder as they, give me combos of different emotes that have all been colored and animated in a certain way. It's really quite a game in and of itself. So if you're into emotes and those types of social communication features, then you should find this to be interesting. Let me talk about some of the upcoming stuff. So the Mac version, we did release a kind of for testing Mac version on the website. The AI is currently not supported in it. We have been able to get an AI working on the Mac. It compiles, it runs, it plays just like MasterBot does. We're still struggling a bit to get the updates to work with the AI because the way the Mac operating system handles permissions with executable files, they got to be a little bit careful so that we aren't shipping viruses to people every time we do the update. The operating system is a little bit paranoid, so that's the roadblock right now. I assume we'll get it figured out soon, and once that happens, we will be formally announcing, Mac is supported, and we'll have the official Mac version up. You can also install the Steam version on Mac as well, and it should work, but again with the same caveat that the bot is not supported at the moment. But there will be a formal announcement of that as soon as we can get it to work, which will hopefully be soon, barring any other roadblocks. But yeah, that's the state of the Mac version. The casual match is in development. It is, for the most part, done, actually. We have this new matchmaking feature that's aimed at newer players. There are rewards for every certain number of wins you get. It's different than the tickets. And there's also going to be bots with different personalities that you can play against as you sort of accumulate wins in the casual match. There'll be a bot that really tries to rush you, or a bot that really loves econ, and those are optional. You don't have to play against them. But the casual match mode will be more of a PvP mode aimed at newer players who don't want to have to worry about, losing any points of their tiers. And we've been kind of waiting to debut it until, we were confident that it was right before release, because we don't want the queue times to be really long for new players. We really want to make sure that there is a critical mass of new players that are coming in and able to play each other. And right now the ladder is dominated by experienced players because we're in this stage of development where there's not a whole lot of new players coming in because we aren't promoting the game yet. So casual match is going to go live probably right before Steam Early Access goes live, because that's when we're going to start promoting the game and encouraging a lot of new players to get in on it. So, it's mostly ready and it's coming soon. Campaign. Let me speak about the campaign very briefly. We've been working a ton on the campaign all year, working on the art, the story, the missions themselves, the bonus difficult versions of all the missions, even the menu screens and stuff like that. It is coming together. There's still probably several more weeks of work before it's ready to see any kind of full release, but it is coming. There will be a whole bunch of hype materials coming in the new year, and you guys will hear about it. The plan is to launch Steam Early Access with 1 to 2 chapters of campaign available, and then put out additional chapters of content episodically. So, when we first wrote the campaign, we wrote it for 8 or 9 chapters, and we're working on the core group of 5 of them right now, with the additional chapters to come later. But even within those 5, it's probably going to be the first 2, and then maybe 1 at a time, a few weeks apart, at least. That is the current plan. The Steam store page is going to go live in a week or so. We're kind of just putting the finishing touches on it and editing it and making sure everything looks nice. And once that's available, you will be able to wish list Prismata on Steam. If you've already got access to the Steam version, you don't need to do that, but when we go live, you'll be able to tell all your friends, wish list a game on Steam, that sort of thing. So that's about it. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff we're working on, stuff like making the load times faster, working on asset management. If you see any parts of the game where there's blurry text, we're trying to fix that up. little UI things like this featured live game thing that rotates around in the top right. Just small tweaks here and there. Of course, the servers themselves, trying to make sure they're super efficient. We got a lot of bug reports with when the achievements went live last week because, you know, they're that type of thing. When you have 100 new things in a game added all at once, it's very hard to test them all against the corner cases. So we're very thankful for the alpha testers who've been sending us their bug reports and making sure all the achievements are working as they should. But by now, we're confident that they're mostly good to go and aren't going to be seeing too many major changes, but we are adding more. That's probably about it. Oh yeah, streams. So there's going to be a stream tonight. I'm going to be streaming Laddering a bit. We may run a bonus Blitz Brawl, just because the one last night got a bit messed up because the leaderboard wasn't working. So we may run another one. We're also going to be running streams on Saturday and Sunday. So with Saturday's Blitz Brawl, I'm going to be playing in it and streaming it. Sunday, we're running a tournament. So I can't really show you anything in the Prismata interface, but if you go to the blog right now, you'll see there is a Prismata Swiss tournament that we are running on Sunday as part of something we are calling the Prismata Beta Preseason. So early next year, we will be running the Prismata Beta World Championship. There will be a Grand Prix as well as a tournament finals. But before any of that, we're just going to do a preseason, which is a bunch of one-off exhibition, just for fun tournaments. And the first one is this Sunday. It is a Swiss 45-second base plus 8 tournament. All players of all skill levels are welcome. It's Swiss based, so if you lose, you'll face other people who are also losing. So it attempts to kind of match people based on their tournament record. So you don't have to be the best of the best to come and have a good time. And there will be giveaways for eligible for all participants. You don't have to win the tournament. We're giving away tons of shards and infusions and other good stuff. So come check that out. That's at Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern is the Blitz Brawl event. And tonight on Twitch, there will be a stream probably a few hours from when this YouTube video goes live. So if any of you guys are around, you can come check that out. The Twitch channel, of course, twitch.tv/Lunark Studios. That's all I got for this update. There will be another update in a couple of weeks once we get that Steam page up and hopefully the Mac version out. Until then, I will see you later.